this year is a lot more nicer than last year. Let's start with roll call. President is here. Vice President.
Here.
Secretary.
Here.
Treasurer. Commissioner.
Here.
Member at large, Gene. Muy bien, gracias. Member at large, Tony.
Present.
All right. Awesome, outstanding. It's good to see everybody here. All right, did everybody get a chance to look at the previous minutes? From, I believe, from 2 months.
Yes.
Last board meeting and the board meeting prior to that.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to vote in the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Fantastic. All right. President's report. Brendan and I and Rich did a walkthrough. It's been, what, 3 weeks already? 4 weeks? It's been a while.
About a month ago now.
Yeah, time is flying. Went through field by field, addressed most of the problems. The cages are getting new nets. They're on order, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you ordered them.
They said they'll be in before the season starts. We talked about possibly locking the cages during the season. I don't know how far that went.
That one's still on the table.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Far as how we looking for 6 and 7, is it a go, or I mean?
6 and 7. I need the dimension specs.
Can I not send those to you? I'll send them to you right now.
Send those to me, and that way we can just get it confirmed.
Okay.
With the change. That's all they needed.
I stopped by and measured them with Danny, drawing up on them, and they fit just a little with a little trim and moving the plate back 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope it. Danny said he would have no problem doing it. He just has to get the approval from up above. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes or all that good stuff. But.
No, they just wanted to see the specs. As long as we have the specs for it.
They are on their way. Perfect. I mean it's gonna liven up that ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make things a million times easier for scheduling and everything else. Nobody will be playing by themselves at 3:00 in the afternoon. Concessions. Jenny's set for the season coming up in the spring. She's confirmed. She's already got Shannon on board. She is looking for one more worker. She said to give her another week to find somebody. If not, we'll start advertising for somebody. She did a fantastic job this season in there, so I'm glad she said as long as I'm here, she's there. So hopefully, see if how long I stay. Banners. Can we set a date? If maybe Saturday coming up. I don't know what's up with you guys. I need the men's help on this one with a couple ladders.
What about
Do any 15U players need community service hours? I'm just throwing it out there.
Can we set it in stone that maybe the 4 of us can do them like next Wednesday evening?
Sure.
That gives us plenty of time. You guys.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I was just wanting to pick a date. So
yeah. Next Wednesday.
What's that date?
I don't even know.
Calendar. I got it right here. 13th.
Sounds good.
6 o'clock work. Yes, it's a good one. I'll get them. I'll get the good ones. Yeah. Got it. All right, that's all I got for the president's report. Vice President.
Um, we need to go into the equipment room and see how many baseballs and softballs we have, so we can start ordering for the season. We also,
We do that on the 13th. Well, you know
also
what? I know how many baseballs we have.
okay.
We have about 8 dozen.
We have like no softballs because we were like almost out.
You give me how many you need, and I'll place the order.
All right.
I can do it right over. I can do an email.
How many game season is it?
12 game season
12 games.
plus playoffs.
Okay. All right. And then I was just writing it down actually. For registration right now, we have 75 players signed up for baseball. We have 12 3 and 4 year olds, 16 5 and 6 year olds, 22 8U, 10 10U, 12 12U, and 3 15U. And in softball, we have 1 6U, 11 8U, 10 10U, 9 12U, and no 14U. I did resend out the flyer today, but usually right after Christmas, that people are still slow to. Registration will start picking up in the next 2 weeks. I've already seen it starting to pick up just in the last couple days. So now that Christmas and New Year's is over, the people will start getting back on board and start. I've gotten a lot of phone calls about when is registration, so I know we're going to be a lot busier than we were in the fall, especially with me hearing rumors that a lot of other parks are not doing softball at all. So
Awesome.
that should be very interesting for us.
Yeah, I'm getting phone calls every day, 3 or 4 a day.
So, and it's not anything to do with COVID. They just don't. Nobody's playing at their parks really anymore. So,
Where are they all playing?
us. A lot of them have already come to us.
Cool.
So that's a positive towards us.
So how many total softball do we have already?
I have
We have
31
75
total.
boys. 31. So we're well over 100 already. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm projecting we're going to be at about 400, 450 people, kids between all the different age groups once registration's done. And then we're going to have walk-up registrations in 2 weeks, I believe. Me and Lexi and Jesse, I haven't really talked to Jesse about it yet, but me, Lexi, and Jesse will do walk-up registrations and at the concession stand like we did, or at T-ball like we did before, where people just walk up to the table outside. So, other than that, that is all I have for Vice President report.
All right. Treasurer's report. Very nice report. Quick on the financials, real quick. Brandon, what do you need from us right away? I mean, was there anything at the first of the year?
Um, just the articles of incorporation and copy of the bylaws again, and that's by February 1st.
Okay.
So next month's meeting.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Thank you, Jesse. Commissioner's report.
We're getting ready for this next season. I've reached out to the DDs, who in turn are reaching out to any managers that they've had either this season or last season, and trying to find out if they're interested in coming back or managing, so we can get that list together. I don't think. Can we get on Blue Sombrero right now? Okay. Just because that has all of our my previous managers are all on the Blue Sombrero. Anyway, um,
That's an Amy department.
if Amy wants to help me out with that, that'll help me out a lot. There are some other things that are could possibly help us out that I'll go over under new business, but it sounds like it's going to be like last season where because of COVID, we're not going to have opening night. So everything's going to run right into this season. It's probably going to be quiet, not like in the years past with all the hoopla leading up to it. The draft, we're going to need all hands on deck. We may be changing the format of the draft a little bit, which we'll discuss in new business. But other than that, we're moving forward. We're getting, the stuff ordered for baseball and softball. That's all we got.
Quick, I've noticed on the registrations that have been actually coming in pretty steady. There's a lot of people that are interested in coaching, so that's another. If we can start reaching out to them and cross-referencing them from Blue Sombrero, start reaching out to these new people right away and get them going. I think.
I'm
with
sure
our
Amy
new
will help me out with that.
Yeah.
with our new system, it shows in softball there's 7 volunteers. I have to click on them to find out exactly what they want, but softball there's 2, 10 or 8U there's 2, 10U there's 3, 12U there's 2. That's for softball, and in baseball, because baseball and softball is actually separated on our thing, there's 12. There's 3 in T-ball, 3 and 4. There's 1 in T-ball, 5 and 6. 8U has 2, 10U has 4, 12U has 2. Babe Ruth has none, but the Babe Ruth coaches are pretty much always the same coaches. So
We can get them reports off there too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, sir? Softball commissioner report.
I have 31 girls signed up in softball.
How's the softball commissioner hunt going?
I have some people that are willing to. Huh? It's canceled. I have some people that are willing to take some things off my plate, so I would still be softball commissioner, but more of the things are delegated. So, Scott being one of those people that said he would help me. So, yeah, that's where we're at with that. I think everybody's scared to do what I do. So, yeah,
Or are they scared of you?
I mean, listen, I'll walk away. You don't have to be scared of me.
Okay. Anything else? Madam?
Nothing for me.
All right. Secretary's reports. Okay. Awesome. Sure. Village report.
Not much, just going over the stuff we went over that day in that meeting. Just talked about getting the specs over for the bases. Um, that's all we need to review to be able to put that change into motion. And the double bases on, I think it was fields, was it 1, 8, 6, and 7? So that we're also working on right now. And then with the field closures, getting everything back open, they should all be back open on the 25th. Everything good to go. Yes, that should be ready for this season. Well, no, that will be ready for this season, pending approval. So once they're approved and we get the word to go, we'll make it ready for this season.
Do the double bases include Farron?
Um,
They already have them.
do they?
Yeah, they have.
All 3 of them do?
No, you just don't first base. Is the only one.
No, all 3 fields.
Actually, I think Farron's first base is missing on field 3.
I have to go out and look tomorrow. But if not, then
They used
Okay.
to have them all.
Yeah, they used to
I
have
didn't
first base
think
on all
I
3
didn't
fields
I didn't think field 1 had it, but I wasn't
Yeah.
looking that closely
It
at
did.
it. It did. Okay.
at one point.
Okay.
so
Never
yeah,
mind.
I'll check on 3. If it's missing, then we'll get one back out on 3.
Okay. And then field 3, is that gonna get clay anytime soon?
They clayed it. put some more over, but to the extent of um, what I think is gonna stop it from sinking and flooding. No,
No.
we looked at it and it needed a capital project. So that's something that
I think that whole, like, even that big field, because you get, like, when you're walking out from the parking lot, you can, like, almost die falling off the sidewalk onto the grass. It's so, like, sunk so
oh
far.
yeah,
So I think that whole area just needs to be, like, raised a
raised
foot.
up. Yeah. It it's that field in itself, it required a capital project. So right now we're in the works of putting that on the strategic plan
Okay.
to see if we can get that taken care of. But
Awesome.
that one wasn't an easy
No,
easy
it's
fix
not.
like the other.
It's not. It hasn't been.
The other two fields are great.
Yeah. But that's it for the village report.
One question. Any word on the tournament thing?
Nothing. Nothing yet. No. Um I know January, just from what I've gathered from the day, January's more than likely no.
Oh yeah.
So we're on the February. I pitched that one out today, so um now it's just waiting to see which way it goes. Everything with those are still in balance. We were supposed to have our golf tournament this month at the end of the month, and that one got axed too. So that's what we are with tournament.
That's really spread out. I mean, that's
Yeah.
all right. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it.
All right. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to vote in the reports from the president, vice president, treasurer, baseball commissioner, softball commissioner, the wonderful secretary report, and the village report.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody object? All right. On to old business. Previously voted on the rules to be adjusted on the website. We need to.
Now that I have the minutes and I know what was actually voted and said, I can adjust it, but I couldn't do that until I had those.
Fantastic.
And that's not anything against you. I just can't do it until I had them.
All right, cool. But you know how to do it. I have no clue on how to do it.
You, sir, are not allowed to have admin access to our website because you will delete our website.
Yes. Okay. Well played. All right. All right. New business. Uniforms. Crystal. Hey. Sweet.
You good with it?
There's something I want to add into the new business also.
I have two things to add.
Evaluations. Glenn, you want to take this one?
Evaluations. What I'm actually proposing is what we used to do until about 2 years ago, maybe even less.
It's been a while. It's been longer.
What has it?
It
Well,
was a Chris Birch.
maybe it's 3 years ago, but where we have the managers on the field, the managers eval every kid. We take their manager sheet, we take it over to the concession, we make a copy of it, we give it back to them. The board tallies all of that, gives an average for each player. That way we're not having one person's opinion on how a kid did in 3 swings. We're having, 4 to 6 coaches that have played with the kid before giving them real evaluation. That will help us get the teams equally or more equally divided. So hopefully we can have more competitive games, if that makes sense. And that's how we used to do it. And then we went away from that to bringing in outsiders, and then we went away from that to not having anybody. So I think if we go back, take our managers, then all the managers are in agreement of what this kid's rated.
Plus, we still have an outsider.
Yes, plus we still have an outsider. But I'm just saying that way the board should be more evenly divided. And actually we may even put into effect, as far as the draft, we're going to do 7-year-old draft and an 8-year-old draft. So every team's going to have the same amount of 7-year-old players and the same amount of 8-year-old players. Now, the 3 freezes, I'm just hitting this real quick. It's got to be finalized. But The 3 freezes, their points get averaged. Okay? So you have, say, 6 teams. This team has 27 points. This team has 26 points. This team has 25.5. This team has 25, all the way down the line. Lowest number, go ahead.
To do that, though, we have to change our grading system.
Yes,
It has to be highest number
right.
is the best,
Yes, so
not lowest.
10 is
So it
like
has to be opposite
A1
of what
top.
we were doing.
It's going to be opposite of what we're used to, but it's going to help us getting the teams divided more equal.
And do we use the 1 through 5 grade, or we use the 1 through 10 grade?
1 through 10, only because 1 through 5 makes everybody a 3.
And 10's the best.
You follow what I'm saying? 1 through 5 makes everybody a 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
every division. Yeah.
Yes, every division. That way, every team has the same amount of 7-year-olds.
But
Same amount.
explain
Yeah.
the team amount thing again.
Yes. So the way it works, the way we're proposing is, like I said, you have 6 teams. Say they average from, say, one team, his 3 freezes are all 9s. That's 27. He's on the top, all the way down to this guy's got 15 because his are 3 5s. He picks first. The low, you pick from the low to the bottom.
The lowest number picks first.
The lowest average total picks first, and it goes up, and it comes back to the bottom. It doesn't turn and go back down.
So we're no longer doing the snake draft. It's
No.
different.
When you say 3 freezes and they're all 9s, that be the 11-year-old 9 and 12-year-old 9?
Yeah. So when you do the 11-year-old draft part of it, your one freeze that's an 11-year-old, that's your points for that age group.
Because they're not combined.
You understand?
11s and 12s.
So when
11
you
is totally
so when
different.
you get to the 12-year-olds, it starts all over again.
Yes.
And odds are, with your freezes, just like in most divisions, if this dude has 3 12s, this guy's probably going to have 3 12s. He's probably, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be where this guy. Otherwise, if he has 3 11s, he's going to pick first and 12. You know what I mean? Pick 7th and 12th. Pick.
Still, you go in with 3 freezes.
Yes.
Now, are we still putting the numbers in round order on the board? We have to, right?
Yeah, it's going to be listed from their totals down. Here's
What
the
do you mean?
7-year-olds, like their totals from the averages from all the coaches. You understand? Say it's 86. 86 is the top. He's number 1. And it's going to go all the way down to 14.
No. As far as when you say a lot of work for you, what do you? This is where we don't have you do all the work.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to. We're only going to do this if somebody can sit there with a computer, tally in the numbers, and tell us who's picking next.
And we'll
No, I'm talking about to actually get to that point where your average.
Adding in all the
say you have
numbers?
So I'm taking, say there's 6 coaches.
Yep.
So I'm taking 6 numbers of 50 kids, and then averaging them, and then I have to average them as a whole. So not only, so like I have for throwing, I have 6 numbers. So I average those.
What if we have the managers add up their stuff?
no. Listen, it's easier than that.
We have a total box.
You have a total box at the end.
Right,
That's
but I
it.
have to average all those to get to the end.
Just straight across the board. You just you're not. Here's what you're not doing it. We'll do it. There you go. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay, good luck.
So you're taking you
Gene
have
just,
16,
Gene just fell asleep.
you're taking 7 numbers and you're adding them together. And
Yeah,
getting an
dividing by
average.
7.
Right, but you have to do it twice. So you have to take the 6 coaches, their numbers, because you're still going to divide it throwing, hitting,
No.
throwing, hitting,
No.
batting.
Okay. So
like you're still going to have people in
so
sections.
the first
correct?
place, the best kid in the draft is going to have the
So
largest
you're going to
number.
watch him the whole time.
You're going to put him on the board.
Just
The
one kid
first
out there
round,
at a
number 1
time.
pick. And then you're going to go large. It's going to go.
Right, but you have to
Right.
get across the board. You have to have one number for hitting, one number for
Yes.
throwing.
Actually, no.
So then what I'm saying,
If they
you
want to
take
do
all
the
his
age,
numbers from 6
it's gonna be
coaches for
separated.
throwing. You average
You know what I'm
those.
saying? So-
That's where you get his throwing number.
Yes.
And then you have to do it for
You're
every
gonna do
single
the-
thing.
Yes.
you're going to
Then
do
you have to
the
average all
youngins
those
first,
numbers.
Yes.
and then the older
That's what
second.
I'm saying. Like it's even more
Yes.
work than it was before.
Yeah, it's
Because
way
before
more work.
It was just averaging the
Yeah,
numbers.
No, it's a lot more work.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot more work.
Absolutely.
You keep saying no.
Now, we talked about identifying the catchers and pitchers.
Yes.
We talked about that.
Yes.
We're doing that.
Yes. Yes.
That's,
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
that's what screwed up a little bit of Angel and
That's
Well,
when you
that's what the meeting the night before the draft between the board members and the managers. They're going to be there too. We get all of it straight before the draft.
At the evaluation, at the evaluations, you're telling the parents if your son is interested in pitching and catching, they need to stay after. And this is 10 you up after the evaluation to do some throwing and catching.
It's the board members and the DDs. We can't have all those managers in there
Yeah,
trying
that's
to.
not part
yeah.
of the evaluation process. That's okay. We're done evaluating the fielding. And okay, okay. If you want to, the pitchers and catchers need to stay and throw. Evaluator's not going to sit there, and evaluate that stuff. You coaches will, yes, but not the. Yeah.
Okay, so now Glenn understands what I was saying.
But that's what, yes, it's a lot more work. Amy's correct. That's why one person can't do it.
Can we do ahead of time? Is anybody good at Excel? If you do it on a computer,
I already have an Excel spreadsheet for it. It's just adding.
plug it in, it just automatically.
Right. But now I have to create a whole new one and then we have to find out how many coaches before I create it. Because I can't just create a generic one if I have, this team has 5 coaches, but this team has 6 because I have to delete a line or add 2 more lines or something. So that's where it's,
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yes. It's not all on you.
Easy. I didn't say I was.
Yes,
yes, you did. You did. You said I
You're-
wasn't doing
you're the
anything
one.
and that the rest of you were doing this. So
You are.
I want to bring that to a point again.
I hear Tony's really good with the
Tony-
computer.
Tony's panicked.
I was just getting ready to text you and say, is there any, Tony, is there anything we can create to make this easy? I was getting ready to text you and say that, but I couldn't find you. You understand exactly what we're trying to do?
You think it's gonna help?
I mean, maybe not in your age division because, right?
Well, she meant. I mean, do you think this is going to be better for drafting purposes? That's
You think it's going to help make things?
yeah. You think it's going to be an improvement of what we've been doing? That's the biggest thing. Is this something that's going to make it?
It looks good on paper.
Yeah, and they gonna. Yeah,
Yeah, we will.
of course. Yep, and that's what I tell the parents.
Would doing,
It's like we have the workshop. It's all my fault.
would it be more prudent to do the way we did it in fall with 2 blind evaluators and then the coaches, coach do their own thing, but change everything to a 1 to a 10 so that everybody's not a 3 before we completely switch this and do. Yeah, at the 11 and 12, because you.
11-year-olds are better than 12-year-olds. I think us, the guys that know them, the managers, some of the coaches who do good evaluations, more people with eyes on them, just have a better evaluation. And
So you
more
think?
accurate evaluation.
So you think follow what we're saying, only instead of in the draft separating 7 and 8, just
Right,
8U.
because I think the talent, you might have a brand new 12-year-old come in, never played before, and an 11-year-old that's, and it just doesn't make any sense to separate them when you can see what his number is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't
Still
like
just
separating
one.
them either unless you're going to separate.
Three-year difference.
And T-ball's 4 years.
But there's always the new kids though that just want to try it. They've never played before.
So again, this is the first of us trying to change things. Let's do it without separating the the ages in each division,
Get a better evaluation.
except for T-ball. T-ball, we still try to stay with 3 and 4 and 5 and 6.
Oh,
'Cause
they
that
register
was
it.
like one, and even I think everybody was on board with that. You need to keep the 3s and 4s together and keep the 5 and 6s.
Right. Well, it's always been it's been like that for the last couple seasons anyways because but with COVID, we didn't have enough for it to be just separated. There was going to be only one team in one and like 4 teams in the other.
Right.
So we couldn't tell 12 kids, sorry, you can't play, we don't have enough. So we just spread out the tinier people.
Well, it's to do what we're doing. It has to be reversed anyway to get the averages. And then realistically, you won't get your average for your team until draft day because then you're gonna put those three numbers. Okay, he's top. Okay, he's second because we don't know who your freezes are until that night. In the middle of that day. Yeah, well, it is what it is. It's the only age group we're splitting them is 3s and 4s is double A, 5s and 6s is triple A, and
That's how
everything
they
else
register.
is EU7. Okay. And the 15s. I mean, if you lived it. So would we do like a draft for the 13Us and then the 15Us?
Do we have enough kids in that division? I don't think so to separate it. 13s and 14s and 15s and 16s. I mean, we only have 3 registered right now, so obviously no, but once we get into actual registration.
We'll deal with that. That's a smaller division too that we can deal with that, closer to the draft. We're not going to have 80 people in there. It'll be easier to figure that out a few days before and say, listen, guys, this is how this is going to happen. But I agree with you 100%.
Can I add my stuff now?
Working copy machine. None of those 3 copy machines up there work.
I added. Ooh, sorry. I donated 1 or 2 of them, and it should have ink, and there's paper up there. I added a color one.
So we don't need to.
I don't think so. I mean, we need to test them because they don't have a computer attached to them. But it's just a copy, so you just stick it in there and see if it copies. It should work.
We'll check it out on the 13th.
Sure. Can I talk about mine? My new business? Angela from Chick-fil-A reached out to me and said, let me know if you have any sporting events that could use the Chick-fil-A food truck. So I didn't know if we've made decent, we get 20% of their sales, I believe, when they do it. So I didn't know if anybody wanted to do a Chick-fil-A weekend for games. I know it kind of cuts back on Jenny, but we're making the same amount of money. We're just doing Chick-fil-A. So.
Yeah. The only thing is.
Well, that's what we've used them for opening night, but we're not doing opening night as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't think the 20% from Chick-fil-A will come close to our weekend days. No, it'd have to be a night.
Jesse is helping me out doing a P&L for the concessions for the fall. So maybe we'll address this next board meeting because I'll have the numbers to see how much we are actually making out of concessions there.
Okay.
So.
What?
Well, maybe there's. Yeah.
What if it was just like one night a week, like Friday nights or something like that? If we're gonna end up using, you know what I mean? An evening.
I would want to do it when the field was packed.
Oh, when there's games and stuff.
What about at one of our? I'm trying to think of how it could compete with concession, and I think one of our, if we do get a tournament day, or we do get something like that, or we get a home run derby, or we get something where we know a lot of people are going to be there, because we need that kind of turnout to make it match concession. Yeah, make it worthwhile to take.
Well, see, it's not really competing with concession. If you look at it, the money we get from Chick-fil-A is pure profit. Like, we didn't pay for the food, we didn't pay for any of the stuff. It's there, and then the money. Not everybody likes Chick-fil-A. I mean, it's true. It's God's chicken, but it's true. And they might want whatever Jenny's got. So I think it would average out. It would just be another option for people. But again, I don't want to upset Jenny or make it seem like we were trying to replace her with Chick-fil-A. Why haven't I turned this down? So that's.
No, it's not a bad thought. Let's get the numbers done so we can see. if we're only bringing in 20% profit,
We don't lose anything.
yeah, from our concession, then why not?
Yeah. So, and then a player's parent reached out to me. This child got hurt trying to save their dog from choking. Um, hurt their finger. And they had surgery today, and they were able to save the finger and the nail bed. I'll explain people after we're not on live TV. But they're not 100% sure on how fast his recovery could be. It could be 3 weeks, it could be 3 months, but he has played with our park for a long time, and they're just curious if they did sign up, if he was unable to play, if they could get refunded or whatever. So
Yes.
I said, we have a board meeting tonight. I will reach out and find out.
Yes, I know the family.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it.
Everybody's good with that then?
Yes.
Okay. Those are my two new business.
You can either refund him or have him sign up for the next year.
Credit for the next season. Okay.
Right. I did want to. I forgot to bring this up, but the COVID thing we had discussed about how we were putting kids along the fence in the fall, about maybe putting them on the bleachers in the spring. Has anybody given any more thought about that? Because if we want to do the bleachers, we need to order the markers to put on the bleachers so the kids know where to sit, spread out. Me personally, I think it'd be a better solution than what we were doing. But I'm easily persuaded. So, you guys,
I think it might be okay for T-ball. And so, I mean, the bleachers aren't being used either way. I think it's a good idea for T-ball and maybe 8U, but I think 10U, 12U.
honestly, I think it would be good for all divisions because the manager knows where their players are and they can go over and talk to them if they need to. Instead of,
I didn't have any problems in softball
had-
with it, so
I had, yeah, I had players hanging out with their girlfriend underneath a tree.
Tony, Gene, what do y'all think? Your microphone is
I didn't have an issue with. Hello. I didn't have an issue with it because as they came in, I could hang their bag where they need to hang out, hang their bag, and the poles gave me an automatic 10 feet against each, in between each player, and then their parents could sit with them in between those poles, and it worked out pretty good. I mean, I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, but it is a longer distance for them to come back and go around in, and if you got them on deck, or lining up for batting. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm all, if you want to try it, I'm all for it. I mean, we can always go back to the fence.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think it'll be fine. We were pretty good, like you said, with the fence thing. Although some kids were out of order, it's really their parents' fault, no matter what. But
Listen, if you guys think I'm
No.
fine leaving it this week, I can go either way.
I think
I
I think we tried it the other way. Let's try it this way, and then we'll know. There's only two options. If we're gonna be living with this COVID thing for a while, let's see if the other option works too.
I'm hoping this is the last season we deal with it.
Right. Well, we did open up the first two for some of the first two bleachers for the parents, and then that worked out pretty good. And then we lined them up the fence, and again they were out playing grab ass, but that's what they do. So I mean, and he's right. The parents need to, hey, little Johnny, stay by the fence, stay by your bag. You're getting up, and because sometimes there's only one of us or two of us out there. So
my only other thing is we did open up, like you said, the bottom bleacher for like older people to sit, and because they can't sit in the folding chairs and stuff, and the scorekeeper. So where are they going to go now? You're looking at me like I have three heads.
I don't even know we opened the bottom bleachers.
I don't either.
Just the bottom seat, because there was a lot of older people that came that couldn't sit. They can't sit in those foldy chairs, and it's easier for them to push off that hard.
It was still one family, like
Yeah.
side. That was it.
It was very social distance, I promise.
Let's just leave it, I guess.
I know.
I'm fine. That way we
Can
don't
I
have to.
Tell
Can
your,
you make it choice? I mean, you can either keep your team here. No.
I mean,
You gotta go one way or the other because
Each
we gotta.
coach. No.
We gotta put the
Force
markers
it.
on the
Yeah, we
bleachers.
gotta
So
enforce
you
it.
want to put it in 15U and make them have to sit on
Yeah,
the
put
bleachers
them
and
in
everybody else
timeout.
can sit
Don't
on the
punish
fence?
the rest of us.
I'll just make them do more push-ups.
Okay. Listen, that's enough.
Sorry, I almost swallowed my mask.
I know.
Coronavirus.
You are awful red. All right. Anything else? Any more new business?
One more. I talked to a couple board members about this. Right now, I'm discussing. I've been approached about a 12U team coming back, and splitting a travel team, splitting them up onto 4 teams. It's going to take some scheduling issues. It's going to take basically scheduling issues. I'll find out tomorrow. But if I can make this happen, Ed's aware of it. If I can make this happen, it's going to make our 12U pretty competitive this season. And it may open up some benefits for us in the future. And the flip side to the coin is we might be bringing back one more coach to help us that wasn't part of that team, that it was pretty recognized in the league too. So it might be a twofold benefit for us. But like I said, it's going to take a little help from scheduling, and it's going to take a little help from obviously Ed, and, a couple other people to make it happen. I just didn't want anybody to be surprised. But if it does work out, it's going to be huge for the 12U division for at least one season between them and Damage Inc. I'm excited about it, and it's going to help our all-star team, probably both of them. A and I don't like A and B, blue and purple, green and red, whatever we end up calling them. Orange and blue, there you go. But it's
Black and blue.
but yeah, but between those Damage in this team plus the high caliber of players, because we have a few that do not play travel, it might give us a fighting chance come All-Stars, which is what we all hope for.
That's honestly the vision I've had at our park for years,
Yeah.
and years and years. And
I mean, it's when it all shakes out, it's a roundabout way of making things happen. But if it does, I think it's a huge benefit for our park, and it might open up a huge benefit from here forward. We just got to see how it shakes out.
that actually brought a few things to my mind. Is that anything else, Glenn? On it? Cooperstown ticket. Are you reapplying for that? Since they still have $1,000, I hope.
They have our money, but they will not speak to me. It has to be whoever filled out the
Who filled it out?
form. I don't know if it was you or Melissa.
Definitely wasn't me.
I think it was
Yeah,
Amy.
I think it was Amy. I hope it was Amy.
Whose name did I put on it? I thought I filled out the information, but I put your name, didn't I?
My name?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Then we'll absolutely take care of it.
I thought it was your name.
They're out
No.
anyway right now because of the holiday. They actually might be back this week, but we'll get on top of that.
They give us our money back.
Yeah, they're gonna send us a check back before we can
No.
we'd have to.
We can still reapply
Yes.
if the funds are available. We don't have to wait for our money to come back, because the earlier we apply, our chances might be better. Now, we won't get it this year. We might not get it next year, but we keep trying till we get 2 tickets for our park. And the theory behind 2 tickets is your travel team is going to make up a majority of first team. Second ticket leaves rec, and another team of kids that, just because they're not, they still need, they still should have an option. And that's the whole point of 2 tickets. And that's going to be huge for us keeping 6-year-olds here 4 years from now, because they all leave at 10 years, because they're going to
When
parks that have tickets.
Yeah, when they know they can stay here and go to Cooperstown.
What were you gonna say, Jess?
I believe that's
Oh.
what's separate. That's the difference between Okeechobee and Gardens right now.
Absolutely is. They play for that ticket. They stay for that ticket. They go for that ticket.
As soon as 12U is done, then
Everybody, I mean, I don't even know if Keeley has anything above 12 years.
Yeah.
They go to,
Yep.
yeah, they go to Cooperstown, and then that's it. Everybody pats each other on the back, and they're done. That's why we're losing a lot of our kids to Seminole and to the other parks. Seminole because we don't have travel. The other parks because we don't have a ticket.
So they go to Seminole because number one, the teams don't pay a lick over there, and two, they don't have to play rec. Rec, the not playing rec's always been our Achilles heel. It always will be. But if you have the Cooperstown ticket, it's a draw.
It keeps your travel teams here, willing to play rec for Cooperstown. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. I have one more question for you, Glenn. Is Dave Mancuso, still interested in being the equipment manager?
I can find out tomorrow.
'Cause if not, we need to find somebody that's more diligent on getting our equipment back. I'm not even sure who returned equipment. Nothing. So, yeah. Please, sir. Thank you.
I will.
Maybe we should start there.
No,
That
but
would
we
be a good idea.
should have a list of everything that's gone out and who has it. Okay.
Sounds like January 13th is going to be pretty busy.
Book in there.
Yeah, that one day they did 3 or 4 for you.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people didn't get checks either.
You agree? You agree?
All right. That's the end of new business. Unless anybody has anything else.
I have a question. We had a couple of girls that decided they want to play up just to play up. Do we want to just let everybody do that? Or, I mean, is it going to affect our numbers
So,
or?
way you get to play up is you evaluate in 10U and 12U, and the coaches decide if you're ready to be there or not. You can't just decide, I want to play up. That's how it is in
Well,
baseball.
this
That's
is
how
the
it is
thing.
in softball.
The girls would be fine if they moved up. I'm talking softball, but it probably could go across the board. Kids would be fine playing up, safety wise. But how does that affect our 10U program if they're in 12U?
You're taking all your 10U All Stars.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You're holding people back.
3 or 4 players are playing
Go
up.
forward and talk to your mic, please.
Just it doesn't affect all stars in the aspect as long as you played 10 rec games.
But it does, because if I don't have enough quality girls
But
in
if
our
you're
age group, or
if
even
you're
boys,
if you're 10 years old and you're playing in 12U rec, you can play in 10U All Stars.
but they're moving up because they want to be with friends or other.
If they're moving up to be with friends and their skill level's not there, then no, they can't move up. That's why we evaluate them in 10 and 12. But
Their
if
skill level is there. Their skill level is there. They will
well,
be
if their
fine.
skill level's there, then they need to be in 12U.
So then that gives us 18 kids or 17 kids in 10U,
Yeah.
and 26 kids in 12U, and
That's
now we
it.
can't
Then it
have
takes-
2
it throws the
teams,
balance
but we
off.
have 11 players on each team.
They could
up-
survive in either
up one age
division.
group.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah. check
I'm
your
just
numbers.
saying, do we? It's case by case. That's how we want to.
Yeah,
It's not
we
a
have-
guarantee.
It's not a guarantee that you're going to move up, but
Okay.
I'll evaluate you, and if I feel like you should be in 12U,
My question is, they would be fine either way, wherever they go. They're either going to be top dog down here, or they're going to be little minnows on the older side, but still fine safety wise. My concern would be the balancing of the teams, which
well,
ultimately.
I mean, I have no control over how many people sign up for 12U and 10U, so if they were 12-year-olds, then you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I can say, oh, just because I don't have enough in 10U, I'm gonna hold you back. I wouldn't do that to a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I mean that makes sense. It's like a catch-22 because
right, because I have no control. I mean, I've had seasons where I only had 4 people sign up for 8U.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about that. I can't make kids in 10U play 8U because there are not enough kids in this division.
All right.
So
We'll just deal with it case by
it is.
case.
I know there's a 10U travel team that wants to play rec at our park because they don't have to play, but they want more reps. but they want to play 12U. So
Oh.
that all-star team that left, they're called the Stars. Nicole Buckland, they left Wellington Wild and went to Seminole Palms, and they want to play rec at our park, but they want to play up. Yeah, it wouldn't be, yeah. So that was a rumor I heard, but a couple of those girls have already signed up, so I'm assuming that rumor to be true.
Good news for the girls. All right, cool.
So I that's why I said I have a feeling 12U is going to have like definitely 4, if not 5 or 6 teams.
That'd be awesome. We don't love odd
Do our
numbers.
best to make even numbers across the board.
I will do everything. If I have to pull some players from 10U against Lexi's wishes, I will
We
make
have to
sure.
go with 9 only on every team because you know we're gonna get add-ons.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is we talked about making sure that everybody gets evaluated before going on to a team. And I think Glennie said he would evaluate, and Gene and whoever else would evaluate, any late signups.
Sure.
Are we able to advertise that more? Can I?
No, do not advertise that to anybody. We want
No,
them to sign up.
I want everyone to know that you must evaluate, so please come on your designated night.
Oh, I
You know what
thought
I
you
mean?
meant
Like,
that
'cause
you can evaluate at another time. Like I
full disclosure,
no.
we would not have had our child evaluate because she's on a team, but now we will have her. You know what I mean?
We have a makeup day in
A
there.
lot of people have
Yeah.
that mentality.
And
That,
it's during the week, right?
Yeah.
So there's
Monday,
no
Tuesday,
excuse.
Wednesday.
And it's a school week.
Yeah, but you're gonna get in trouble. I mean,
yes,
They
or
won't. They will not come.
but if they understand that they have to evaluate at some point before they get on a team, then maybe they'll come the night. They don't get placed on a team unless they evaluate. They have to be evaluated. So Glenn has to run up to the field for 15 minutes to watch his kid play before he can be assigned on a team. I'm just saying, instead of all of us always just saying, oh, my kid's already on a team, I don't have to evaluate, let's make it known now so that they know, come on their, if they can, come on their designated night rather than trying to
She's
get out of
trying
it.
to let everybody know that you're going to get evaluated, so you might as well sign up.
That's what I mean.
There's not going to be any, hey, don't get evaluated, don't sign up yet, wait till we do it. Okay, now sign up because it's my turn to draft.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Because we're going to look at him, we're going to say, dude, forget it. He needs this guy, not you. He's going to that team.
That makes sense. I know.
That's why you're here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. People aren't going to like us, but there's not going to be any shenanigans.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
No, I have to go pick up my kid. Let's go.
No? Open mic? Nobody? Awesome. All right, I'd like to make a motion to end this meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I said nay.